This is the Pyramid panel. On the panel tonight is
Jason Stiles,
Mary Hardy, Susan Griffith, John Shaughnessey, and Abraham Karim. Okay. This is tonight's entertainment and knowledge fest. I think first off, we'll have a little discussion among the panelists, and then people could come up and ask questions and go deeper into the work. But, you know, I have a question for everyone, because you all are such experts and take different facets of the work. Was there anything that was new in someone's work to you, Jason? Did you learn anything that you can incorporate into your work by what you heard today from some of these people? And then I'll ask other people.
I did learn a lot from Mary Hardy and her pyramid book and her pyramid constructions at her house.
The nature of my work is more on the inner level of consciousness, so all the experience that the other speakers are sharing during this conference is really, really interesting to me, because there's also quite a lot of knowledge about the pyramids as structures, their energetic qualities, their how useful they are in application, but sort of in an outer sense. So I feel like I'm merging together an inner knowledge with an outer knowledge, and this is really interesting for me to experience here.
Thank you. Beautiful. Abraham, you're so knowledgeable in so many aspects of the work. What is the future of pyramidology and the study of pyramids for you?
You see, it's not the study of pyramids.
Yeah.
It's a whole new worldview. It's a paradigm that we need today, because today we live in a time where we built a civilization and based on modern technology, and we're into the information age, and we discover ultimately that it's at the expense of man or humankind. Modern science is a quantitative science, so from the beginning when we started developing it, we keep the subjective or the human being outside it. So when you develop a whole civilization with the human being outside your scientific development, you end up with a civilization at his expense. So in the age of information, which depends very much on electromagnetic radiation, there's a time bomb that could end life on Earth. So we have to start thinking differently. We have to bring in the heart into our discussions. We have to bring in wisdom in there. And I think that one thing that combines us all here is that we think differently. We accept a broader way of thinking. I mean, we have a much wider scope. Maybe everybody thinks we're a crazy bunch. Yes, but you know, real developments were done by the people outside the system, not inside the system. So I think by meeting more, by being together, by holding together, we should be able to do something and save humanity, save the environment. So we have a big role to play, and I'm happy and honored to be part of you here. Thank you very much.
Yeah, why don't you just take the mic out and pass the mic? Just take it out of the, yeah. Yeah, just take it. Hey, John.
Yes.
I'm glad you're up here, because you're thinking differently. You're like what Abraham said, you know. How do you feel we can fit this into a new worldview, your work?
Collectively...
talking to the mic.
Collectively, you know, the human consciousness, you know, one person gets a thought halfway around the world, it comes into the human consciousness, And it's up to people to get out there. If you got an idea, share it, take it as far as you can. And sometimes you get on a road, and you think you know the target, what you're going for and what you want to achieve, and then you end up taking a left at the fork or right at the fork in the road. And
take the fork in the road.
Yeah, take the fork in the road, right? So and then you're off to a totally different discipline of physics, healing, or sciences, and discovery.
Right.
It's all about discovery, and the universe is within us. And it's for me, it's been a joy and a gift to actually be able to travel, around the solar system, go to the moon, go to the pyramids, all inside my head. All inside my head.
Really?
And make the discoveries and bring them back to the world and write it down and put
Dump
together
that
some
stuff out of your head onto the paper.
Sometimes it's out there, and sometimes it's really out there. But you put it out there. We have such a gift today. It's a renaissance that we're in. You have so many opportunities to get out your story. Your wisdom, your discovery. You go YouTube, you go Facebook, you can go Google. You get self-publishing. You don't need to have all this.
This is how change happens. This is what everyone up here is about. We're changing the system. Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
And Mary's always been ahead of the curve, right, Mary?
I hope so.
So what's coming around that curve now?
In 1968, my husband and two small children, we lost 4 hours of time. And we were given the ability, we were asked to build a pyramid. We built a pyramid in Michigan, which was an orgone box, which existed between the Bermuda Triangle and the Great Lakes Triangle. And that shut down the abnormalities in those two triangles. Because it took out the abnormalities, we gained control of all the antennas, which pyramids are. You have to realize the Earth is an orgone motor. Wright proved that with a blue-green field around the Earth. And if we take control through simple engineering, we could bring this planet back to the life force, that orgone energy from the motor of the Earth itself. We could bring that back and really get rid of the radiation. We could change the frequency within our plants, and we could bring peace and harmony to the planet. And that is why I believe I was taught all the engineering that I have been doing with pyramids and obelisks, medicine wheels, and the likes. Thank you.
I mean, just listening to everybody today, it's like we are on the edge of something new, a technology of earth energies, of given energies that we have forgotten for eons, and I think this conference could be the beginning of something really big, a revolution that will bring this into the forefront and be recognized by science, because this is a science, right? So what's the future of your work look like, Jason? You want to share that? And then we'll take some questions.
Well, I shared a little bit of this in my presentation today, but I see it expanding. I see it going into healing centers. I see it a new type of energy medicine coming from this that it's growing. I see multiple different people using this type of energy medicine. It's coming alive in multiple countries, and people are really starting to catch on to new ways of healing through natural, bioresonance and creating that harmony back into the body through bioresonance systems. And I just see things getting, you start playing with linking logs and Lego toys, and then they get bigger and bigger and bigger, right?
Well, we have to do it because science is killing us unless we return to the bioresonance, I mean, that's the future for most people, for the planet.
Right.
What do you think, Susan? Yes? About the future?
I think that we need to internalize rather than externalize everything, absolutely in everything. I think we need to bring everything back to an essential state, and we need to realize that each one of us is responsible for our own, others, and the environment, the health of ourselves, others, and the environment, the wealth of ourselves, others, and the environment. Everything that is occurring in our external world is coming from an internal space. And we need to marry those spaces. We need to merge those spaces together rather than saying what I'm experiencing inside my mind is one thing and what you're experiencing or what I'm experiencing outside is another thing. And we need to realize that we're responsible, that nobody else is to blame, and that we must carry this responsibility into the future. I mean, this is what is going to heal the planet, is when each one of us, each one of us is so important, so fundamentally important to the health of this planet that, and you know, we get taught from a very early age that we are, who are you to think you're so this or that? Who are you to, blah, 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 blah. And then we think we have no power, but we have to bring the power back to each one of us, no matter how insignificant we think we are all so important. And that is what is going to save our planet, by bringing this back to each and every one of us.
That's great. No, I agree. And Abraham, you sort of mentioned that too, but you had something else to add? Because I was going to also talk to some people in the audience. If you have something, please.
Well, first of all, it's good to see you face to face. You know,
oh, you haven't seen her face to face?
No, you.
Me? Oh, right. Me. Oh, right. We did an interview, not face to face. Yeah.
Yeah, we spent an hour together
talking on Skype.
And that last hour, I put the face to the interview. You know?
Now you put the face to the Skype. That's me.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
I'm happy, Alan, to see you.
Okay.
There.
Nice to see you too.
Now, the good thing that I see about the four of us is there is no special way that is right and the other one is wrong. You see, reality is something you can tackle from many directions, because reality is something beyond time and space. It's multidimensional. Now, when we interact with it, we become, like I say, spokesmen of the universe, spokesmen of the earth. And a spokesman brings this reality into his left brain, sort of information data bank. And so each one of us will give it in a different way. So we might seem different, completely different, but we're actually interpreting the truth. All of us are interpreting the truth. So whatever you say, nobody's right and nobody's wrong. We're all interpreting a truth. So I keep telling people like that, if you go on a sacred power spot and the energy, the vortex comes out there and we're all of us here. So, okay, Susan might get it there and start dancing, okay, if that's your thing, okay. Then you might start saying a poem, let's say. Okay, and then you're going to what are you going to play? Music. Okay, then he is going to play the piano. And then Mary is going, what are you going to do?
Teach people how to use the pyramids.
Okay, she'll teach people to do the pyramid, but actually, all of us are just interpreting what the earth and the universe are saying in that power spot. It's timeless, spaceless, so each one of us time stamps it with his own left brain consciousness. So we are all right. And the nice thing, when you see different approaches to the same reality, you can grasp that reality much easier. because it's elusive, it's abstract. And I think we're privileged to have so many ways of interacting with the same reality.
Well, thank you, thank you. Maybe I'll just, we have some great people in the audience here too, like Shaman Michael over there, and just see if he has anything to contribute based on your work and healing, insights.
Thank you, Alan. Well, I think all of us are here because we're all seeking the truth. We're reaching out from our souls to find the original earth wisdom, the nature of things that has been archived for all of us in the pyramids, in the writings, and the artifacts. And I believe all of us are great searchers and researchers of our own to find the truth. And it's such an honor to be here with people like Mary and all the doctors and everybody that's been speaking at this whole event. It's a real honor for all of us to learn so much. So in that, with sound, color, light, frequency, earth wisdom, and all of the knowledge that has been passed down to us, it's truly our responsibility to dig in and find the time in our lives to learn, and teach, and share all we can. Thank you.
Very nice. That's great. Yeah. Actually, it does remind me, I told my mother asked me, what do? I said, I'm a seeker. And she said, there's a seeker born every minute. So, but never mind. But does anyone have a question here? Does anyone have a question for our panelists? Or I can just keep going on and on. Or, yes?
Are any pyramid-type solutions to what they're doing with 5G and the smart meters all over the world?
Good question.
I'm sure you realize are very dangerous. I don't know. Is there a way for that to be fixed?
Abraham, weren't you working with some of the EMF pollution?
Yes. Okay. Well, I want to tell you something. The energy of shape is one of the most potent ways of relieving people from electrostress. Because the energy of shape is on a level, it's subtle energy that is on a level that touches your vitality, emotions, and mental levels. And when you work with energy of shape, you somehow get your body to completely sort of ignore the stress because you feel it through emotional level. And if we can use shapes to balance the emotional level, you won't feel it. You perceive it with your mental level. If I get shapes to harmonize the mental level, then I won't perceive it. Then the stress will just go through my body and I won't resonate with it. Only the physical aspect is there. It won't change. And unless it is very, very strong, the rest will not harm me. So we definitely have a solution, and if that solution, be it a pyramid or other shapes, this is the way to go. This is the way to go to save us from, it's not just 5G, it's our whole electromagnetic civilization.
Great. Anybody else? Mary, did you have something about EMF, G5?
EMF, we made our pyramids out of aluminum. And my teacher, Kenneth Killick, I only can repeat what he told us, and he's still communicating with us. He said we used aluminum to create the orgone energy because of the aluminum salts. He could foresee the future. And 5G, I mean, everybody's running around with these little tinfoil hats. That's because aluminum isn't as affected by the ELF and the EMF as some of the other metals. Okay, there was another, anyone? Go ahead, John. Yes, please.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like I usually do. And, in the television industry, they have dishes on your house, a satellite TV they call it. You have a dish that absorbs the radio frequency beaming down from a satellite that's basically sending you 200 channels per second. And they take that dish and then they focus it on the receiver, which is a little bar that comes out, and that concentrates that volume of energy into a tight focal point, and then it gets through a transducer and off to the TV it goes. So I mean that shape in and of itself can reflect energy away from you. If you're sleeping or something to that nature, you might have some kind of a reflective dish that's pushing the energy back from whence it came. Most energy is directional. You can figure out where it's coming from. So just a thought anyways. So
no,
that's what
you.
It's all about. Just throwing some thoughts out.
That's good. Okay, we'll take another question back there. You said you had a question? Okay. I have a question again about this. We're talking a lot about technology, biotechnology, and then the human instrument, the human body. I mean, how does the life force of the human body then interact with, I mean, this is what we've been talking about all weekend, but what is the actual science of human life force with these bioshapes and these bioresonance? I mean, why don't you know what I'm asking? I mean, we're generating energy, and these objects are generating energy, and there's a science to that interaction that we've been talking about. And you regenerated your whole body with that. Do you want to talk? I know you talked about it this morning a little bit, but you want to talk about that science of the human body with these geoforms?
So, from my perspective, these are tools to give us the ability to do what we need to do. Now, I think they're just permission slips, essentially. We can do it if we want to do it, if we have the will to do it. But sometimes we need tools to help facilitate us to get there. So I do see these as, the more tools that we have in our toolbox, the better we're going to be able to go and solve a problem. So we have tools that Dr. Kareem is bringing to the forefront. All of his students, I've noticed they're testing out the fields of these devices. Without these type of tools, it's hard to see the field. It's hard to measure electromagnetic pollution, harmful and the beneficial. So without these tools, we're in a better place with these tools in our hands.
Right. We're becoming more conscious society, right? I mean, in that way. I have a question based on the work of Johannes and the double pyramid, the one above and the one below, Dr. Kareem and maybe other people. How does that fit in with your idea of the pyramid? Do you know Johannes's theory?
We haven't been introduced yet, but I think we met before.
Why don't Johannes just describe, if you don't mind, just describe to the audience that people may not have heard your theory of the above and below.
My theory of the double pyramid system is that the energy from Mother Earth is pulled up from the lower one, the energy of Father Heaven, electric energy is coming from the upper one, and they build up a field like a torus field, and dependent what is in the stronger pyramid. And for my definition, it's the lower, because we need much more energy from Mother Earth, female energy, magnetic energy, which is in this way the healing energy, because Mother Earth and magnetic energy provides the energy for the mitochondria for the healing and to make our cell system stronger. And due to the epigenetics, we can open the cell membrane only when we build up a field which is harmonious, a real sinus wave which is nothing else than pure love. And the unity of Mother Earth and Father Heaven, which is then in the human body, provides the opening of the cell membrane and reconnection of cells in our system again, which means healing, which means consciousness, which means development and enlightenment. That's my understanding.
Any attempt, like what we've heard, to join the earth and the sky and the opposites and all that, and use geometrical shapes and use pyramids and all that, is a welcome thing. And it really does something to your energy system. I haven't really interacted with him on those pyramids or doing any tested or yet. I mean, we're just getting it deduced. But the main thing is to do it, you know. The main thing is to be aware that you are acting with the earth, that you're part of the earth, part of the sky, getting everything together. And this holistic approach to things is the way to go. Now, whether this is his final development or something more advanced will come later and all that, that's really not the issue. The issue is the mindset behind it. You know, the mindset of looking at the wholeness and approaching this wholeness of what's above and what's below and all that through geometrical shapes. And I think that's the way to go, yeah.
Okay, we should wrap it. You had a response to just a quick response?
A short response again. So my vision is to have pyramids in every house, in every bedroom, and feel that unity. And as my friend Semos Managic is speaking in the last few months, we need to raise our consciousness to break the elite's power, which make the systems we are manipulated from. We don't need any systems more when we have love.
Okay, we should wrap up. Mary, do you want to have any final words that you just, and summing up your teachings and what's coming up for you?
Well, I feel that the earth is an orgone motor, and that is the life force energy within all of us. And if we can use whatever technique to bring forth the vortex, to activate our consciousness through the energy field of Mother Earth and her antenna system, it's going to help people.
Thank you. That's Mary Hardy. Yes, thanks for being on the panel here. John, what's in your head now? What do you want to share? Leave us with something.
Yeah, it's you know, I've been really focusing on the moon and the enormous amount of energy that we're interacting with the moon day in and day out, and I would like to see some minds getting on board and tapping into this unbelievable free power source. It really is a very special source. And I think the ancients definitely had some wisdom and some knowledge about it, and it could get us off the oil economy and into a better way of life, and extend the interglacial period that we're in.
What's the book that you just wrote with
Wendy Salter over in England? It's There Is Something About the Moon.
There is something about the moon.
There really is.
John Shaughnessey, thanks for being here. Okay. Ibrahim, we're going to hear from you later, so, okay, we'll just pass it on to Susan. Yes.
Yeah, I think that we need to operate on all the different layers of our being, from an external point of view, internal point of view, and also from a very subtle point of view as well. When it comes to the shapes, actually I really wanted to refer to the shapes here. The shapes in the external environment, which are like objects, three-dimensional objects, are one thing. The shapes that we can create within our internal energy system, which are also refracting the energies into to create certain energetic reactions, and also from a very, very essential point of view, the shapes that are really we hold in our innermost consciousness are the ones that create our entire reality, actually. So I think we need to be very, very consistently aware of all the different layers of our reality, and not just external or even internal, but really this very, very subtle layer as well from where everything is arising. Right. That's really what I wanted to say.
Thank you, Susan Griffith-Jones. Yes, and Jason. Yes.
You know, building pyramids has been a passion of mine for about 8 years now. I think the world could really solve a lot of problems if everyone just found their passion and started putting enough energy into it to make a difference. Pound for pound, we burn brighter than the sun. We have more power than we know. So I think we just all need to dig deep down and find that spark within us and activate the planet.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. That's great. Very nice. Yeah, so let's use our pyramid power. Let's go out there and spread the pyramid message. Give it as a gift. Buy the products here. Share them with your friends, because this is the edge of a new technology that is the future. It's the hope of the future. It's probably the only hope for our future. So thank you, panelists. Thank you, everybody. We'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll do a talk with Abraham. Thank you.